Hello, everybody. My name is Kingdom OW. I'm here with my good friend Dor. Dor, how you feeling tonight?
I'm doing good, Kingdom. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing amazing, and I'm so excited to see this Overwatch Tranquility Week 7 matchup between Vitamin C and Fighting Potatoes. What do you think about these teams?
I think this is going to be a really strong match coming off Vitamin C coming off of 6-0 so far. The Fighting Taters really needs to get some foothold in this match if they want to start looking up for their season.
Oh, 100%. Fighting Potatoes currently 2-4, but this is if any, this is the best opportunity they have to really make a mark in this league, taking out the undefeated Vitamin C.
Yeah, it'd be great coming off of the loss last week against Comets, who are relatively similar in the ranking. Vitamin C faced up against Jalapenos last week and won 3.
Oh, you cut out there, friend, but 3-1, you said? Oh, well, he's having some microphone issues, but I will pick it up for you guys. I'll let you guys know a few things about both teams here. Fighting Potatoes, if you've been around the community long enough, you know season 1 and 2 were not their seasons. They did not have a great time, but season 3, they've been popping off, coming out a lot stronger. 2 and 4 might not look great, but if you look at the past previous seasons, this is the best team they've had in a long time. Shout out to Ski Free. Hashtag Ski Free was the problem. And on the side of Vitamin C, these guys are no joke. Undefeated for a reason. They've been taking out every single person they've played against, and they've honestly been nasty. And we're going to see if our good friend Dora is back anytime soon. But till then, I'll let you guys know a few things about these teams before we get started. And we will be starting on Nepal. But first thing to know about is this is going to be all about the tank matchup. Vitamin C, Fighting Potatoes, Normac, and Surfy on the side of Vitamin C. And a little bit of fact for you guys about Surfy. Surfy's been playing way before Orisa was meta. So, Surfy, you got some problems to deal with clearly because you enjoy playing Orisa that much before you even have to. That's great, and that's going to be really helpful for them taking out Fighting Potatoes. But on the main tank side of things, it's either going to be Shepvik or I believe Solitary Bird. I'm not sure which one the main tank is, but it's going to be a great Orisa match. And Normac, who's been playing out of his mind recently, playing any tank that really need him to play, whether it be the Roadhog and more recently the I'm just excited to see how this tank match is going to go. We all know about Mousy, the Junkrat guy, and the core of Sneaky Kittens leading that roster. I'm really excited to get this one started. Whenever we're ready to, it's going to be a wonderful matchup. And
Hello,
Dory,
I think I'm back.
oh, welcome back, Dory. I know
Working?
was all the excitement of this Week 7 matchup may have caused your mic to short out there, bud.
Riveting. I'm gonna be honest. I was holding the back of it, and I hit the cord, and it came right on out. My
No
hands
worries.
are shaking. My knees are weak. I'm ready to get into this match. Ready to see Fighting Potatoes try and get into their groove.
Yeah, and knees weak, arms are heavy, and I think we're ready to see Nepal already because this Fighting Potatoes versus Vitamin C matchup is only playing here on OW Tranquility on Twitch. Make sure you guys leave a follow. Make sure to subscribe, whatever you got to do, any of that stuff on your YouTube channel, because this matchup is going to be great. We've had some great 3-2s here in the past, but I don't think this one has a possibility to go all the way. What are your predictions for this matchup, bud?
Looking at it at the standings, I think Vitamin C should come out as either 4-0 or 3-1. But Fighting Potatoes, if they can take a couple maps early and avoid coming down to the hybrid map, then maybe they stand a chance here at taking it all the way.
Very possible, as we are going to get started on Nepal Village. This used to be a great Snoats map. Rest in peace, goats. But we're going to probably see the double shield Orisa Sigma here. So let's see, as both teams are assembling their heroes, what are they going to run out?
I'd really be anticipating either May Reaper or May Doom on this map, as the point's incredibly enclosed, and having that much up-close CC and damage is really powerful.
Interesting idea on the side of Fighting Potatoes, the core coming out of that Brigitte. We're going to see how that handles it. Very possible that he could stun the Reaper, but just switch Creepy Goals, just switch to the Symmetra. So we're going to have a Sim Doom on the side of the Vitamin C versus Mousy's classic Reaper, Mousy's classic Junkrat and Tape Deck Reaper.
I think the most important thing here with the Brigitte pick, as strong as it may be on the fights on point, they're going to lose that sound barrier from the Lucio to counter Norimac's Sigma.
Yeah, and something really to look out for is Fighting Potatoes doesn't really have a defensive ult, and with all the damage ability that Creepy Trolls as well as Polar can bring DPS wise, that could prove to be something very dangerous. As the Reinhardt is going to jump down, use Zarya bubble already, and that Rein shield's getting melted as Polar and the Symmetra are doing all kinds of damage, and he's forced to back up here. Rock Drone, but missed. Doomfist gets a clean punch on Solitary Bird as the point is almost taken by Vitamin C. It is taken by Vitamin C right now. And Potatoes be a little bit split. Reinhardt trying to find his bearings. His shield is down, and they're just pounding right into him. As the core trying to do anything he can to keep his Reinhardt alive. The Solitary Bird is half health as he is stunned. And the fight already got Captain Wessels with the Moira ult and Shepvik as well taking out Creepy Trolls. This one could be on the side of Fighting Potatoes here. Oh, but just as I say that, Normac and Sushi get two. Sushi with another one. And this is right now an even fight as Vitamin C looks like they are going to take control and keep that point to themselves with only a Reaper left on the side of Fighting Potatoes.
I think it's really important to note that like you noted earlier, around the right side of the point, that Potatoes was getting really split up. Their Brigitte and Junkrat were around one side, meanwhile their Reinhardt and the rest of the team was around the other. So as much as the Reinhardt may have found a couple picks onto the Symmetra and such, Vitamin C was able to just turn around and find a couple picks right on back.
Yeah, and we are looking at the side of Fighting Potatoes right now with a good few amount of ults from just doing some pick damage here. But look how aggressive this Doomfist is playing as he gets punished by Mousy, the Junkrat God, and she's going to be doing all kinds of damage trying to break this Orisa shield. As Captain Wessels does get extremely low as well as Solitary, and Solitary does go down, but here comes Captain Mousy with the tire, takes out the Orisa ult, but not going to be enough as Tape-Deck takes out Surfy, and Chef Big now. Fighting Potatoes are cleaning stuff. They do need to take out this Symmetra, who's doing just loads and loads of damage, and Core is playing so aggressively with that Brigitte as she allows you to, and it seems to be just Polar left on the point as he is taken out, and Fighting Potatoes take it with just 78% on the board for Vitamin C.
I think we almost saw the same exact thing from both sides there as happened last fight. This time, however, Vitamin C sort of opting into the Clown Fiesta, spreading themselves out and losing a lot of the benefit that they have from that Orisa Sigma composition.
Yeah, I'm not liking the way Solitary Bird right now is playing with that shield. His shield's already down practically less than half as the fight hasn't even really begun. And here comes the grab, but Tape-Deck picking up a double as well as Mousy kills Tree Patrol as well as the Lucio ults there to try to save him, but it looks like to no avail as Fighting Potatoes are cleaning this one up. And that's a team kill with only using, what, one ult on the side of Fighting Potatoes. Excuse me, two ults on the side of Fighting Potatoes.
That's two pretty key ults, though. However, Vitamin C is going to come in with a Sigmal, Doomfist, and a Symmetra ult. You think enough of those over time is going to, one or two of them is going to get them this point here.
And right now, Solitary Bird is going to be the one to have to make the play to win the fight as he is the only ult available and no support ults. And here's a big shatter! Massive! And that's play right there. And Solitary Bird cleaning up.
That is exactly what they needed to get back into this game, back into the ult economy. Mousy, 75% to a Junkrat ult. She might be able to get that charged up before this next fight, which could just give them the pick they need.
100%. And if you're a Vitamin C fan, and if you're Vitamin C, really, you need to make sure you use these ults, especially these DPS ults, very aggressively to take this fight where exactly you want it, because if they don't, this could possibly be last fight territory.
Yeah, I think they're going to be looking for
Sigma ult going to be appreciated right off the bat. And as well as Polar coming in with that Doom result, Normac and Surfy are cleaning up as Mousy takes out Creepy and Capital takes out Captain Wessel. So right now it's a bit of a cleanup session for the Vitamin C, using practically every ult they had. They do have bongos on the way here, but seems to be not going to be working out as Mousy has the only ultimate available with that Junkrat tire, and they just need to get the point right now if you're Fighting Potatoes.
I'll tell you what, though, they really wanted that point. They committed a lot of ultimates. They're going to see if this Moira and the Reaper are able to charge up their ults in time for this fight.
Oh, I don't think they're going to be able to. Oh, Core barely gets the touch in there as Surfy takes the Solitary. And here comes the Junkrat tire. This could be a hero play by Mousy. It's all up to her right now. And she takes out Normac. That's a huge pick. And Mousy needs to clean up as well as the Core. Going right after that Orisa. And let's see, Mousy gets taken out by Sushi. And Sushi's right now just picking up all that damage with the Orisa, excuse me, with Moira. Oh, but Tape-Deck, big ultimate. And that won them the fight. Big play on the side of the DPS for Fighting Potato as they are clutching this one out. Sushi's going to be the last one to touch here. If Sushi can even touch, 97%, and he is on the point. Try to get that overtime activated. And let's see if Vitamin C has one last fight left in him. The answer is no, my friend.
That's it. That's exactly the start that Fighting Taters were looking for, though. Tape-Deck coming in, barely charging up his ultimate in time to seal out that fight.
100%, and without those two DPS ults, that fight would have been 100% Vitamin C. So shout out to Mousy and Tape-Deck for just clearing house with those great abilities.
Yeah, I think that shows just how important that Reinhardt shatter was giving them that little bit of extra ult charge they needed to give themselves enough time in that next fight.
Oh, 100% agree. That Reinhardt shatter was so clean, so beautiful. If Vitamin C just looked like they were not ready for it whatsoever. Maybe a lack of communication.
I'm sure in scrims we're facing plenty of Sigma Orisa, but the Reinhardt is a little bit of a pick, and Creepy Troll is really not putting in enough Symmetra damage on the shield to make it not worthwhile.
I do agree with you. So we are going to be seeing Solitary Brit and Shavek still coming out on this Ryan Zarya, even on Sanctum. And this could be a boop century, so Empress, if you're watching, make sure you get those clips ready, because this looks like it could possibly be a boop central if the Vitamin C plays this right. But look at the side of Fighting Potatoes, they are playing on the inside, which is not a bad idea if you're running this comp. Right now, just doing some poke damage here and there. That Symmetra is high charged, and Reinhardt just looking for any kind of charge he can get himself with these flame strikes that don't seem to be connecting. Oh, here comes the charge from Ryan, and it seems to be missing, but Zarya, all kinds of high charge. And right now, let's see the Symmetra, what kind of damage he can put in with these shields. But Mousy takes out Polar, as well as Moira. Captain Wessels is already ulti, keeping his team alive. And no one's really taking out these Sim turrets, so that could prove to be useful for Creepy Trolls, who already has his ult ready. And Creepy Trolls is still alive, doing all kinds of damage, and he needs to be able to take out this damage. As I say that, Mousy picks up a huge double kill. And what could be expected now, as they do commit beat to this fight, Polar still in the backline.
Goodness gracious.
100%. These DPS and supports are charging their ultimates so quickly. And look at the Sigma ult in a 2v6, 2v3, excuse me, 3v6.
Coming up, picks up 3!
The queen of the Junkrat herself picks up 3, but it doesn't seem to be enough as Surfy and Creepy take out that fight. And this whole time, Vitamin C has been collecting point progress.
And if you look at that, Vitamin C still coming out with 2 ults, a Lucio beat and an Orisa Bongo coming up soon for them. I'm not sure what exactly Taters can do here to push this fight.
And is up to right now to Solitary Bird to see what he can do with that Reinhardt, as Shepik also has Grab almost available, but both DPS ults are available for the side of Vitamin C, and Polar takes out Core. Right now, just doing some more poke damage. They are down 5v6 in this fight, Fighting Potatoes are. And Polar is just punching the hell out of that Solitary Bird as he's taken out by Creepy, by Polar with that Doomfist. Creepy just picks up the triple kill there with the Symmetra. Hey, you got your wish. That Symmetra has been a lot more dangerous this round compared to last.
Yeah, you can see after the second kill, Vitamin C just decided they didn't need to commit any more ults, and now they're up 3-1 ult.
Very aggressive Orisa ult, and Reinhardt's going to push right into that with his Shatter. So it could be a big Shatter possibility here, as he does!
Massive! Another big one!
And Tape that cleans up that Shatter with his very own Reaper ult. Maybe a little bit of over-ulting on the side of Fighting Potato. Oh, now you can definitely say over-ulting on the side of Fighting Potatoes, as they are going to turn this point. But at what cost?
I think on the plus side, though, Vitamin C used all their ults, so as much as it's not fun to go wasting ult and accidentally using your Zarya Graviton, it's not the end of the world here for Fighting Taters.
100%, and we are going to be seeing this matchup take place in the choke. And if you're the side of Vitamin C, you're going to want to poke this out, especially that Vine Shield, force him back, which is exactly what they're doing. But Polar is thinking about Mousy. And just look at this charge on the side of Symmetra right now. It could be possibly a big tire takes out Surfy, and that's exactly what you need. But Normac takes out Solitaire, so both main tanks are out of this fight right now. And just the speed of which these Moiras are gathering all teams to be ult every single fight, as Lucio trying to do as much as he can on point. But Creepy Troll's just doing all kinds of damage in that thing. Takes out Captain Wessels as well as commits an ult there. And Captain Wessels, Normac committing the ultimate from Sigma there, and Polar cleans out the core, and it seems to be a point switch on the side of Vitamin C. And I'm not sure if that was played 100% up to plan for the Fighting Potatoes. Your opinion?
I think they came in and they honestly, they could have played the wall around the front side of the point a little better. They refused to disengage from the Orisa shield and the Sigma shield, which honestly, they just got to feed into the Symmetra and provide them more value like they were getting earlier.
Oh, 100% agreed. I think that if you're going to play a Ryan Zarya comp, you need to really go into them and not just play that damage, because clearly you're going to get out-poked by an Orisa 100% of the time.
You kind of have this choice either to engage or disengage a little bit further and give a little bit more room, and they just kind of stood there waiting on the stairs and letting the Orisa poke down the Reinhardt shield slowly pick their team comp apart.
100%, and that Symmetra doing all kinds of damage. Creepy Trolls popping off that round because no one really went after that Symmetra whatsoever, and just because of that, she punished. Creepy Trolls punished on that Symmetra.
And he's showing us that first round was just a warm-up.
And we're going to be seeing just a Rein Zarya from Fighting Potatoes once again, but the Pharmacy coming out on the side of Fighting, excuse me, on Vitamin C. So let's see how this one is going to be played. Solitary trying to creep up on this Orisa, but doesn't seem to be too much progress as he's going to be booped in. Creepy Trolls takes out Core, Polar takes out Tape Deck, and right now this fight is leaning towards Vitamin C, but they're trying to do anything they can to get that ult charge for Ryan as he is taken out once again by Creepy Trolls, who's just been unstoppable in the sim. Surfy as well cleaning up, and Polar finishes off Captain Wessels to turn this fight into a Vitamin C win on first point capture.
Now we're seeing Tape Deck switch over to the McCree to try and deal with the Pharah. I think it may be an apt switch, however, maybe not as powerful as some of the things that they could have chosen. But Mousy insisting on sticking to this Junkrat, I think she's gotten plenty of value, especially with their ultimates. It just comes down to whether Tape Deck can take care of this Pharah Mercy.
100% agreed right now, as Tape Deck is taken down to almost 1 health there, and just so much poke being taken from Fighting Potatoes. They need to decide what they want to do, as Polar picks up 2 there, takes out the Ryan and the Zen, and they're going to be focused out as well. Normac takes out Captain Wessels, and this is just a turn of points, as right now Capital is going with that DPS Mercy, seems to be getting kills, but is taken out there. Back to her Pharmacy, back to the Pharah, and right now, honestly, it's looking Vitamin C is at 110%.
He's completely in control of this match right now. They're only having to commit the Pharah ult to win that entire fight. If you look at the ult charge, Vitamin C is completely ahead. If they can use their ult aggressively and not get pushed out by this Reinhardt this time, we may see a situation.
And Tape Deck takes out Polar with a nice play from that hit scan position. But Sushi takes out Core. And right now, this is a 5v5. Let's see how this is going to be handled. But look at the Moira flanking behind, doing all kinds of damage. Sushi is. Capital takes out Tape Deck. Capital takes out Shedfig. And double kill for the Mercy mains representing out there.
Vitamin C just showing up, finding their kills, not really having to commit too many else to that fight, if any.
Oh, 100% agree. And these ultimate, and the ultimate battle right now is in favor of Vitamin C, as they have so much to work with here. And Solitary Bird still looking for his first shatter of this map.
Outside of Mousy finding a massive tire, I don't see how this ends, and with this fight ending so quickly, Vitamin C just dropping 4 ults right on him. It doesn't look like it's going to go the way of the Fighting Taters.
100% agreed. I think that is all she wrote when it comes to this map. Nepal, Vitamin C wins it. Takes a 1-0 lead over Fighting Potatoes.
Yeah, you could really tell there's a huge difference there between the first map and the second map in Nepal. Coming out of especially the DPS players of Vitamin C.
Oh, 100% agreed. And the thing about your first map with the Reinhardt is so good on Village, but the rest of the maps, it's much more in favor of the Orisa, as seen there. Orisa really popped off on every single map other than that one. So
we didn't really see her get displaced outside of 1 or 2 pushes on the second map.
Yeah, no, I agree. So the next map we're going to be looking at, I believe, is Temple of Anubis, which is going to be also, I believe, a double barrier map. We're going to see if Fighting Potatoes want to switch it up off that Rein Zarya, because he seemed pretty comfortable on it, but not sure if that's really the move.
It seems like it's what they want to play, but if they look for it, the double barrier as well as the Junkrat on defense is incredibly powerful here on Anubis.
I agree. So let's see if there's going to be any kind of switches on the side of Fighting Potatoes. They do have Sneaky Kittens waiting on the bench there, and we're going to just find out now anytime soon. Probably not going to be switching. And, of course, Vitamin C only brought 6, which can be very, very dangerous, if you will. Only having a 6-man roster show up for a game, as if something happens, they're going to have to play 5v6. But it doesn't seem something they're going to be too worried about, as Sneaky Kittens is going to be brought in for the Fighting Potatoes.
It looks like Vitamin C here, though. They do have a lot of versatility with Normac. Being able to play so many tank heroes, they can really adapt to whatever the Fighting Taters bring out on the defense.
Oh, 100%. With Normac, he's one of those tank players that you could put him on any tank position and really see him shine. So it's really interesting to see what kind of tanks they will be running out with. Probably just double shield. And I'm interested in seeing Sneaky Kitten on this map as well, because she is kind of the lifeblood of the team. She is the team captain. And with that leadership available for Fighting Potatoes, let's see if things change and see if they can tie this series up 1-1.
I think Tape Deck having earned a little bit of respect on that McCree, I think it'll be interesting to see what Vitamin C pulls out to as that second DPS.
Tape Deck did pretty well on that on that McCree, but just too little too late. Wasn't really too much the tank line could do to get in there, as Surfy looked very dominant on that Orisa, especially the last two maps I said previously. And we are going to be seeing double barrier with a Bastion and a Pharmacy, as well as a oh my goodness, I can think of his name, Baptiste, and with the Baptiste Mercy. So this is interesting defensively, and of course Mousy coming out on that Junkrat. They are going to be keeping the Rein Zarya. So what do you think about that?
I'm not so sure about the Rein Zarya pick. It looks like they might just get picked apart by a Pharah Mercy again. But if Tape Deck and Mousy can put enough damage down on these shields, and Tape Deck can consistently bully this Pharah Mercy so they can't just beat up on their team, we might see a bit of a closer push.
100% agreed with you there, because Reinhardt is just not really great right now when it comes to all this poke. And the Bastion's going to take that shield out, as well as the Pharah is going to take the off angles and just do all kinds of damage. Solitary Bird realized that, but here he goes anyway, just going to try to... And rest in peace. That just doesn't seem to be the play, and maybe Fighting Potatoes are going to get the memo here, because that's 100% not the play if they're going to want to get through this. This ain't it, Chief, to say the least.
I think it's really important to note, though, Polar in that short fight managed to pick up 42% ult charge.
That's the power of the Pharmacy in this situation, taking any off angle, getting loads of damage. And that's just really interesting for me, because right now, Pharah, you haven't really seen her taking too many aggressive angles, but she's just been chilling with the Pharmacy pocket there and just taking down loads and loads of damage.
No swaps coming out from the side of Fighting Taters. I think they're just going to mark that one down to some bad luck, but Solitary Bird, not sure where that charge came from.
Yeah, not to, you ever heard the expression, in between a rock and a hard place? Well, that's basically what it is. He rammed his head right into the rock wall and was taken out by creepy trolls on that Bastion as the rest of Vitamin C cleans up Fighting Potatoes. And we're going to see if they're going to have any kind of changes. And they do switch Mousy to the Symmetra, which we have not really seen too much of Mousy Symmetra. Possibly going to try to teleport to point.
Teleport somewhere, yeah.
Teleport maybe right
onto the right high ground.
The Mousy Metra, as we're going to be seeing here, folks. Let's see how this one's going to be played. Mousy now lining up wherever she wants, and rest in peace. Poor Mousy, these things happen. Don't sweat it. Polar right now doing all kinds of damage with that Pharmacy as he has ult available, and just well played on the side of Vitamin C, really taking out any kind of chance to even get through the choke with that great Bastion setup, as well as the Pharah playing in such a safe position.
We're not really seeing Tape Deck try to deal with this Pharah Mercy much when he seems like the only person to be able to do it. The Symmetra teleporter coming in though, they can get all the way to the point. Polar are going to try and come out with the ult to stop them.
There's not too much coming out from Polar, but Creepy luckily cleans it up with that triple kill from Bastion. And that's another team wipe from Vitamin C, who's just making them look a bit silly right now. They need to switch it up, which they do switch to a dive comp. Mousy going back onto that Junkrat where she's so well known. So we're going to see how this one is played.
I think this push here is really going to test Polar and how well he can take advantage of the fact that Fighting Taters really doesn't have much of a way to deal with him.
Surfy takes out Tape Deck, and that's not great right now as we're entering the final minute and a half of this matchup. And here comes the dive. They're going to dive right onto that, but they need to take out that BAP field immediately as Creepy Trolls takes out Solitary, and Normac demechs Shepfake as Surfy also kills Mousy, and that is a GG go next. But they might get a tick out of it if they're lucky, and here comes Creepy. Bit of an over-ult there, but hey, what you going to do?
I think a lot of these fights are ending extremely early, coming down to just team coordination in general, as well as the fact that Reinhardt really just isn't able to protect from all the angles that the Bastion and the Pharah are throwing out.
And the problem with switching in such a late scenario is they have literally one ult possibly to make them win against Sushi's Mercy ult, as well as Normac's Graviton Flux. Is that what I believe it's called? And yeah, that. So it's just a lot to deal with for one Lucy ult to handle, and I don't know if that's going to work out for them. But Normac does take out Solitary as Bastion's continuing to plow down, and the Pharmacy ult right now as well doesn't really get too much. But Shepfake does take out Polar, and Tape Deck takes out Surfy. But Sushi does get the res on the Pharah, and right now it is a bit of a skirmish. Tape Deck takes out Creepy, and that could be the window they need. Tape Deck uncontested right now, doing all kinds of damage, and it's taken out by Polar, the hit scan in the sky. Cleaning up. And that seems to be the map, but they do manage to get a tick, so it's very winnable for Fighting Potatoes. But hey, you know, a tick, that's more than I expected, so they should be happy with that tick right there, because that didn't look too great going into that fight.
Yeah, coming in with 0 ults into a full fight against a Bastion and a Pharah, you take 1 tick every single time.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, 33.5%, not what they wanted. They wanted to complete the map clearly, but it is still winnable for Fighting Potatoes. So let's see what kind of defense we're going to be seeing from them.
I'm curious to see if they're going to pull out the double shield here.
You think they're finally going to do it?
You really have to on Anubis. This high ground is incredibly powerful, and Reinhardt's just not able to hold it against any kind of shield break.
Agreed. Solitary really needs to flex onto a different position, because right now, Reinhardt is not going to cut it if they want to beat Vitamin C.
I'm curious to see how Vitamin C attacks here. They've got a lot of options, especially if Solitary runs a Reinhardt, but needing just, what, 2 ticks in order to complete this map now?
A little over 1 tick, yeah, I believe so, I guess.
1 tick. They could go for a lot of things, whether it be Nano Blade, a Bastion, a Teleport, or just go with the standard composition, which it looks like they will.
Yeah, I think they're going to be trying out the pharmacy side of things, see if that works out for them. Fighting Potatoes got just absolutely demolished by that pharmacy last round, so see if they can pay back with some of that punishment. Don't know too much about Take Tech, but we know Mousy's Junkrat is going to be loads of damage. So this is splash damage from both DPS, very high DPS, and we're going to see how Solitary Bird and Sheffic run this pulled pork, as I like to call it, Orisa Hog pull combo.
Now, Fighting Taters are almost going to be challenging them to do the same thing on the attack. The Junkrat replacing the Bastion, but still going to be putting out a ton of damage. And the question is whether or not Normac and Sophie are going to be able to deal with that and effectively get their team in on the rest of Taters.
Vitamin C running this double shield right now, as well as Polar and Creepy on the Symmetra Doom. And right now, it's interesting to see what they're going to do. They look like they're going to be trying to take that top right high ground, which I don't disagree. If Tay-Tech takes out Polar, that's a huge pick, but Capital takes back some damage and takes out Tape. And right now it's just a battle of attrition here, as Mousy takes out Creepy Trolls, and that's both your DPS down if you are Vitamin C. Surfy drops down as well. I don't know if that's the wisest move, as Surfy's going to get taken out here. Barely living, surprisingly, as all that healing from Sushi is going right into the tank line. But Polar takes a Solitary Bird, so this is winnable due to spawn advantage on the side of Vitamin C. And Vitamin C cleaning houses. Mousy does take out Normac. Doesn't seem like he's going to do too much. Mousy takes out Sushi, and just completely free reign right now on the high ground. Solitary Bird takes out Polar. Right now, if Tay-Tech kills himself, Capital takes out Solitary. So right now it's a little interesting to see what the play is going to be if they're going to try to do something. Mousy couldn't clutch it, and that will be the map. Vitamin C dominating.
It is completely worth noting the supports from Vitamin C were going absolutely ham that entire time. The Mortar managing to keep both the Sigma and the Orisa up almost that entire time. The Lucio finding the pick onto the Pharah was also extremely huge.
Right now, Creepy Trolls is having a night. He's doing all kinds of things on the Symmetra, on the Bastion, any kind of turret character you really need. He's your man. He's doing great out here, making a name for himself, possibly for those mid-season awards. Make sure, if you haven't already voted, go to the Discord and vote for your mid-season awards, as we are getting ready to take a halftime break. Right now, Solitary Bird not doing so great on the tank battle, but he's definitely making it up. 2-0 Vitamin C. Oh, I think we're still deciding how long halftime is going to be, so that was a little bit of a debate right there. We got you guys good, haha. But right now, what do you think Vitamin Potatoes need to do to even the odds here?
I think Fighting Potatoes really need to assess A, their composition, and B, their team coordination and who they're targeting. We're seeing them get bullied consistently by at least one of the DPS, and they're ignoring the other. And then the next map, instantly, the other one turns around and starts taking care of them.
Yeah, I think Fighting Potatoes really need to start playing the meta. They're trying this Ryan Zarya nonsense. I wish in a perfect world goats would still be a thing, but
not my perfect world.
Well, my perfect. But yeah, I think that Fighting Potatoes need to pick up the meta, go that Sigma Orisa and play around it, especially if they have a Junkrat specialist. Double shield's not terrible for Junkrat. You can work it. So But this is all food for thought, and I believe both teams are going to be taking a halftime break. Uh, so we'll see you guys in roughly around 10 minutes. My name is Kingdom OW. Here's my good friend Dor. 2-0, Vitamin C. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, my name is Kingdom OW, and I'm joined by my good friend Dor. And we've been sitting here for a good bit of time talking about what the difference could be between a 2-0, which is currently by Vitamin C here, and a 1-1, or even a 2-0 on the other side. Personally, I think it's the fact that they're still running the Reinhardt. I wish Reinhardt was still relevant here, but the Sarissa combo with the Sigma has been so strong. Your opinion?
I think as much as they want to run this Reinhardt, it's really not the pick for them. And if they are going to go with it, they need to be playing it more aggressively and maybe not trying to win the shield war with like a Junkrat and a Hanzo. I'm not sure how they expect to beat double shields when they have a Reinhardt.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about it is, you try all these different strats. When it comes down to it, the tank line needs to step up, and I think they could do that in the third map on Eichenwald, which I think we were talking about as well. Reinhardt is, if there's any map that Reinhardt could do well on, Eichenwald is one of them in the series.
Escort wise, I think, yeah. And this is going to be a big map for Fighting Taters as they took the hard loss to Comets on it last week. See if they can pull themselves back and maybe pull off either a hold or a strong push, at least through the first couple points.
And before we continue, we want to thank DEFCON Core and Captain Wessels for the Twitch Prime sub to Overwatch Tranquility. Much appreciated, lads. And, something about, speaking of those two players who are on the Fighting Potatoes have had a lot better season once Ski Free was gone. So that's food for thought. Speaking of Ski Free, make sure you guys check out the Iris podcast. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and see all kinds of spicy takes and just strange things said by random people that no one really knows. You ever heard of this NPC guy? I've never heard of him.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But for real though, it's a great podcast and it's some spicy takes. And if you enjoy what you see here, you enjoyed the podcast just as much. So, see any more switches? I think Sneaky Kittens might be staying in on this. And what do you think the core and Sneaky Kittens? What do you think the combination of them switching out has done for the Fighting Potatoes, or it's not really made too much of an impact?
I don't think it's made too much of a difference in the support line. I think, like you were saying, it's going to come down to the tank matchups, creating space so that they can deal with the DPS coming out from Vitamin C. Because honestly, the tank line coming out from Surfy, yeah, just looks really hard to deal with right now.
Yeah, Surfy's, like we said before the match started, and if you weren't here, we'll say it again. Surfy's been playing Orisa before Orisa was even like meta.
From day
so
one.
Surfy's got some problems to deal with. And right now he's getting benefit of the doubt because that Orisa is just so good. Vitamin C is loving it all the way to a 6-0 record currently.
And I think that's one of those things that Surfy's able to create a lot of space, and his DPS aren't hesitating at all to take advantage of it. Meanwhile, they're struggling to find space on Fighting Potatoes, and they just aren't able to find the picks off the back of it either.
Agreed. Creepy Troll is currently running as the MVP of this matchup so far, just doing so much damage in the Symmetra, and just having a game to say the least. The Bastion was solid as well, and the Polar on that Pharah. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. Talk about being unstoppable. That Pharah. Anytime the Pharah came down, Sushi got that res off, and Polar got back to business, to say the least, doing all kinds of damage to that poor Fighting Potatoes, turning him to mashed potatoes, really.
We saw it on the third point of the first map, as well as there on the second map. He's just charging up these Pharah ults like it's nothing after the first fight, and it's really able to snowball their ult advantage through into fights afterwards.
And speaking of the Pharah, Polar will be on that Pharah again with the Pharmacy comboed with Sushi, and these two have been looking pretty nasty tonight. And the only kind of hit scan available would be Tapedex McCree, but that doesn't seem to be the plan. Shepvik's gonna have to take the brunt of that damage. Gonna have to try to eat or just do something to dissipate that damage from the Pharah while playing D.Va.
Do you think Fighting Potatoes are trying to put this on the back of a Nanoblade?
I hope not, because that doesn't seem like it's gonna be a great plan. They always have that Junkrat ult available, but I think the dive here is a little better than the Rein Zarya. They have been playing, so we're gonna see how their dive works out. Already committing bubble just to stay alive, but as they decide what their approach will be for this fight. Interesting tactic to say the least, that they are just kind of standing here deciding what they want to do, talking it over. And here comes the dive. And immediately taking the less than half health of Solitary Bird, as well as Mousy. And Mousy is going to be taken out by Creepy Trolls in that Symmetra. And they need to focus on this sim if they're going to do anything, as Creepy Trolls takes out Solitary as well. Jetpick does take out Creepy, but at what cost, as he loses the mech and eventually loses his life as well. And the Polar gets the kill on Tape Deck, and Sushi does res Creepy Trolls. In this fight, cleaned up by Vitamin C.
And
didn't work out.
Previous games, we're seeing Creepy Trolls and Polar and Capital all coming up on their ults. Meanwhile, all of the ult meters nearly below 50% coming from the Fighting Potatoes side.
Yeah, Fighting Potatoes need to figure out how they want this dive to really work. They need to prioritize the Symmetra if they're going to dive at all. Because right now, things just kind of seem like, hey, let's all jump here and see what happens. But they need to come up with a real plan to try to take this out. As well, the Symmetra turrets at the choke can be so deadly, slowing down any kind of dive, especially from a Genji.
The longer they wait, the more this Farl charges up. 96%. We saw him at 60 just before this push, and it's already here. Vitamin C
Solitary Bird takes out. Solitary Bird is taken out, as well as Capital takes out Mousy here. And with no ults needed, they're going to win this fight, based off the fact that this dive is not looking very coordinated if they're going to be running it.
I don't think it'd be too disadvantageous for the Fighting Potatoes to switch up their comp here. They're coming up on 2 support ults, which could carry a fight if they really needed them to.
Yeah, I mean, with all his DPS ults about to be coming online, both DPS ults available, excuse me, for Vitamin C, they're going to have to really decide what they want to do with Captain Wessel's Nano to see if they can do any kind of, whether it be save a life or whether it be get that extra damage needed. But Fighting Potatoes need to figure out what the plan's going to be.
And at 60%, we see Tape Deck switch off of the Genji and onto the Pharah, trying to opt into this Pharah duel, but let's see if Polar can deal with it.
And Solitary is taken out by Normax Rock, as he did Rock, and it's Shepvik D-Mex as well, as Normax takes out Mousy and Creepy Trolls finishes off Shepvik, and they're going to go for this Ana as well. Creepy Trolls, so much damage on that Symmetra, as Seenkins takes a one-way ticket back to the respawn. And
yet another fight. No ults out from Vitamin C though. They're coming up on all 6. You'd figure they'd use at least 1 or 2 just to win an easy fight, but
I mean, they haven't needed to right now, honestly. Solitary Bird's been getting taken out relatively quickly by Normac on that Sigma, and just so much damage being output from Vitamin C that they can't really dive a single target without getting punished completely.
Mousy ever coming up on an ult. They've been big all this series. Let's see if she can find another one.
Normac again getting the first pick of the fight as Shepvik is taken out, and that's free reign for the Pharah as Polar takes out Tape Deck. But Mousy picks up 2. This could be clutch if they can handle this correctly. But Polar takes out Solitary, and Sushi gets the res on Normac. So it is going to be another fight won by Vitamin C.
And just like we were saying, that ult advantage is absolutely massive. It doesn't matter how big that tire is from Mousy. If it's not killing the entire team, it's not going to be enough to overcome all 6 ultimates from Vitamin C.
30 seconds.
And right now we're entering to the final 30 seconds. This is last fight opportunity for the Fighting Potatoes to make a mark on this matchup. And gonna go right into that damage area as Polar is taken out by Tape Deck. Or excuse me, Polar takes out Tape Deck, and he does get the res. And right now it's gonna be a battle of attrition to see who's gonna be doing what. Solitary gets a big kill on Capital, but Creepy Trolls takes out the Pharah. A little too close to the ground there. And Polar takes out Captain Wessels as well. And Polar have a day right now as he's doing so much damage as Normac and that big old Surfy as well, cleaning up. Shepvik does take out Normac, but it's not gonna be for much as Sushi will res, and that is a full hold for the undefeated Vitamin C.
That was a huge double rocket we saw come out of Polar onto the Pharah coming out of Tape Deck.
I agree with you there, because right now it doesn't seem like Fighting Potatoes really have an answer for this pharmacy that's just been raining hell from above, to say the least. It's been a hard time, even with switching to that double pharmacy as well. The dogfight in the sky was won by Vitamin C almost every single time.
I don't think it'd be too bad of an idea to try and stick to it a little bit more. Obviously, whenever they had the Pharah Mercy, they were at an ult disadvantage, and the fights were almost guaranteed losses. Maybe if they came out on a little bit more of an even footing, they were at least occupying Polar, so as Pharah couldn't rain down on the team, they got a little bit further, and maybe if the ult economy was a bit closer, we could see a couple fights won from it.
I agree with you there. So, what are we going to be seeing defensively? This is desperation mode for the Fighting Potatoes if they lose this map, which doesn't seem like that's too far from what's going to happen here. They will lose, and the Vitamin C will go to 7-0, but there is a tie. I believe that it won't really matter too much and Vitamin C will pick up the win. So either way, right now they're playing for pride more than anything.
Dang, and Pride Solitary Bird has plenty of. Running in is Reinhardt again. Even with an Orisa, he's going to really struggle to get in on top of it.
And almost a mirror comp when it comes to DPS and support here, except for that the Reinhardt there. Not really sure that's what they thought we meant by double shield, but you know, hey, it's
I've seen it in my comp game. It's legit.
Yeah, I've seen it in my comp game, so hey, you know. But interesting right now, to say the least. We're gonna see how Mousy does in the Symmetra, as Vitamin C is going to be taking the small room to the right here and probably going to be teleporting across the way. And look at this right now, coordination, as they are going to become meeting at the point, and very interesting to see. Mousy going to try to do any kind of poke she can. Those spirits on the point, doing all kinds of blocking, making sure that no DPS can get even close. Normac takes out Mousy with a big rock there, and Polar wins the Sky Battle as TapeDeck is taken down. But Sneaky does res Mousy, but it could be too late as Creepy Trolls and Capital take out the tank line. And that's just about it as they finish cleaning up. Vitamin C, first fight, and Vitamin C still undefeated, 7-0.
I think Vitamin C came in and did almost exactly what Fighting Taters should have been doing the entire first half, looking to teleport past the defenses set up and try and just get onto that point as quickly as you can, take the fight to them, set up on point. And that's where that Orisa becomes so strong, is your ability to just set down and lay your hooks into the ground and be unable to be moved, even on the attack when you have to push them.
Creepy Troll is getting the Symmetra play the game, and Symmetra is just dangerous. If you don't prioritize her, she will make her presence known. That damage from her beam does so much, can just melt anybody who comes in contact with it. And I believe that was one of the major things that Fighting Potatoes was not doing, was prioritizing the Symmetra, and the Symmetra would just clean house afterwards, making it a lot easier for Vitamin C to get this easy 3-0. I wouldn't say easy. It was relatively closer in the beginning, but as things went on, it got a little bit more one-sided. But shout out to Fighting Potatoes for continuing to fight, and we're going to be seeing if they can pick up a map win on this final map, which we will be going to very shortly.
I think it's really important to note what tank was Solitary Bird playing whenever they were playing Orisa Hog on Anubis?
I believe he was playing the Orisa.
So it's at the very least in his back pocket. Whether it's that strong or not, I think it may just be a real advantage just try and pull it out. But we see Shepfix still pulling out on the Orisa onto that attack there. It makes you really want to know how they can play a proper comp that isn't just Rein Zarya.
Yeah, it's something to definitely go over for this team. Fighting Potatoes need to really figure out the meta and how they can work their way into it, because things like this are going to keep happening if you try to force Rein. You know, the team that you're playing against is going to see, hey, they're playing a lot of Reinhardt here. We should just play as much spam, as much poke as we can, and just outpoke that shield and force them to make a move. Because right now, Fighting Potatoes seems a little bit. We are going to be having, I believe, Core coming in for Mousy, and Mousy's been playing a great Junkrat all night. But her Symmetra was a bit on the lacking side, so they are going to be putting Core in now to get his second map in, as we're getting ready to play on the final map of the evening, which I believe is Rialt. Oh, Havana, just kidding. Havana is going to be the final map, and I believe we're going to be seeing more of that double shield, especially on that narrow first point when you first get started. Just so much poke damage to be taken while trying to push that card through.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the spawn camp come out from Vitamin C here. The Pharah looked incredible, and if they can just hold their ground right there in front of the point, it might not get too far, this cart.
That's definitely a possibility. We could definitely see a little bit of I don't know if you'd call it BM or just aggressive play. We'll call it aggressive play to keep things nice. But
I would not call it.
No, I wouldn't be against seeing them try to hold them right there at that gas station.
Pharah is able to use the geometry of the gas station so effectively to just stay up in the air and spam and just avoid hit scan at all costs. Would not be afraid of seeing it coming out from Polar.
Agreed. Polar is basically unstoppable in that Pharah, as well as Creepy Trolls. Not really getting focused enough to be taken off her high horse on that Symmetra, who's just doing just loads and loads of damage. Inside of the DPS for Fighting Potatoes, Mousy was the primary damage dealer, but she is going to be sitting this map. So we're going to see how TapeDeck and Captain Wessels now are going to do on the DPS side of things.
It looks like Fighting Taters here are going to be looking for a couple picks on this Widow. I'm interested to see how they're going to approach with this Reinhardt Symmetra. They may look for a teleport around the left side here and try and push through the cafe to avoid as much of that forest spam damage as they can.
Right now, we're going to be seeing how this Reinhardt is going to be. I mean, I feel like with this map, Reinhardt is doable, especially if you, like, you know, don't play inside the building and just kind of go right into him. That's how I could see it possibly working. But look at Polar right now, playing behind the enemy spawn. You don't see this too much. And here he comes, exactly what you asked for, as he takes out Captain Wessels right at the bat, and Creepy Trolls takes out Tape Tech. And the DPS right now are hammering the Fighting Potatoes. He's just say mashing them. That would have been better. Oh well.
Exactly what I was mentioning earlier. Tape Deck on the Widow, he's really going to struggle to find angles on Polar, who can just sit on top of this building, sit directly above these spawn gates. You see Polar's going to go right above him, and he's just not going to be able to do much about it.
Yeah, I mean, with the geometry, like you were saying, of this map, Polar could have a field day as he takes that tape again, and just right now just raining hell from above. Is doing all kinds of damage. Already 86% to an ultimate.
It does seem, however, that they managed to get a few people on the carp. They can establish themselves, and down goes Solitary Bird. That may have to wait for one more spawn.
Captain Wessels does finally manage to take out Polar with the Symmetra, and see how Fighting Potatoes are going to approach this fight. Uh-oh, here comes a Sig ult really early off the bat here, and they're going to be slammed down. Let's see if Solitary Bird really needs to get up there and start doing some damage, because right now his shield is just getting pounded. He needs to start doing some swinging more than that Fire Strike. Because if he doesn't, they're just going to... Yeah, exactly.
And historically, so far in this series, we've seen massive far ults come out early. Here he comes. Finds the pick on a Solitary Bird. That's going to be almost their entire card presence. If they can find the pick on the Chef pick here on the Zarya, they might just close this fight out 100%.
Seekins does manage to pick up 2, but the rest of Vitamin C does clean up. Seekins picks up 3. Hold on a minute. Seekins already picked up half the team by herself right now, as that Moira doing loads and loads of damage. She does manage to get purpled here, and she'll be anti-ed, and she will be returning back to point with her team, regrouping. But if you're Fighting Potatoes right now, you need to be pushing the agenda. You need to be pressing attack right now. Half their team is gone. You cannot stand there and let them group up.
You really don't want them to reestablish themselves here, especially with the Widow able to take these long sight lines. If the Far can set up on the buildings and they get a good crossfire going, it's going to be really hard for the Reinhardt to push through.
There goes Solitary again. There's not much you can do with the Reinhardt in this scenario. He did get anti-ed, and Polar have to take him down, as well as taking out Captain Wessels. And they do manage to nano the Orisa here, which I don't know if that was really truly necessary, but they do push Fighting Potatoes back with just a minute 29 on the clock.
We're seeing everything that Shepix wanted to do on the Zarya here. He's finding it really hard to get charged other than just from the Reinhardt getting poked down from the far. By the time the Reinhardt gets poked down, he's already gone. Just like that, he goes down again. Tape Deck, however, finding the pick onto the Ana of Capital.
Tape Deck does take out Capital, and that is a huge play. That's half the healing gone, and just because of that, Sushi will use her ult and try to just see if they can keep the rest of the team alive. As Polar picks up 2. And Shepvik does clean it up. And right now, this is the best chance Fighting Potatoes had in a while, turning the corner here on this first point. The Solitaire needs to get in there. Still not even at his first shatter. He needs to go in there and make an impact. He's doing too much of that shield holding and needs to do some more swinging if he's going to make an impact whatsoever.
Cormac, 90% to his next signal, though, could just change the side of this fight.
Oh, but sneaky ults and gets sniped immediately by Creepy Trolls. And just more cleanup. Captain Wessels does take a Polar. And the shatter doesn't really get anyone there, unfortunately. And here comes the Sigma ult as Zarya going to try to bubble. Solitary does manage to negate as much damage as they can. Tape Deck now takes out Sushi, and he is 96 to a blade, but he is slept right now. And Capital managing to thread the needle on that sleep, as well as healing team. But Tape Deck right now one-on-one Capital, and here comes the blade. And Geddy's already at 1 health. As Creepy Trolls takes out Captain Wessels, and Polar finishes off Tape. Surfing as well, cleaning house. Oh, and here it goes. This is their only chance, their final chance to take this point. Sushi, Zuraka, Polar takes out Core, and that's the rest of their healing gone. Unless they're counting that Sneakins Lucio, which is taken out just after that. And that is a first point hold for Vitamin C. Trying to lock this one away, trying to get a clean 4-0 sweep.
Tank line coming out from Vitamin C looking absolutely unmovable, and Polar just completely taking advantage of it. raining down on the far and able to come through and just clean up on the Doomfist to close out that first point.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Sneaky Kittens played pretty well there with the Moira, but there's just only so much you can do with so much pressure being focused on your tank line. You don't really have much else to do but just try to do your best to keep the tanks alive. And that just was not happening. Unfortunately, Solitary Bird not having the night to remember on that Reinhardt. Things will definitely pick up in the future for this Fighting Potatoes squad, no doubt. But tonight, it's been the Vitamin C show.
I think it's one thing to note, especially when you're playing that Reinhardt, you have Pharah, an Orisa, and a Sigma battering down on you constantly. It's a lot of pressure to be under, and you saw it in that first map. When he was comfortable and just coming into the games, he found 4-man shatter after 4-man shatter and was constantly winning fights. But we saw there in that last fight, his shield started to go down, and it seemed like he just panicked a little bit, pressed Q directly into the Orisa shield. And it's really a lot mentally to try and take that much damage, that much spam damage, and be in front of your entire team as Reinhardt against an Orisa Sigma composition.
So Fighting Potatoes managed to get relatively far through the first point, basically almost to the end of first point. And we're going to see how Fighting Potatoes are going to try to hold this one off. They do have the Orisa Diva here as Shepvik taking over the Diva duties. And before we get into this, we want to thank Specs for subscribing. One description on the Overwatch Tranquility. Thank you so much, Specs. You're okay, I guess. Anyway, as we get ready for the the Vitamin C's offense, what do you think the key is going to be to finish up this clean 4-0 sweep?
For Vitamin C, I think it's going to be doing exactly the things they've been doing. However, I think it's up to Polar to try and get around this Orisa shield and find a flank before Captain Wessels can get a pick on either him or his Mercy.
Shepvik does get slapped in the backline right now, so that's a fair bit of damage from your off-tank accessible. As Capital takes out Sneaky Kittens on the Ana, and Creepachels wins the duel against Captain Wessels on that Widowmaker. And right now, just all kinds of damage coming from the side of Vitamin C, takes out Solitary Bird as Urfi does. And Shepvik, doing anything he can, does get DMEC'd by that Pharah. Creepachels finishes off the kill, and right now it's been just a roll from Vitamin C.
Surfy just absolutely just dumping on, for lack of a better word, the Fighting Taters, walking forward, completely ignoring his shield, and just disrespecting the tank line coming from Taters.
Solitary Bird trying to stall any way he can as Normac takes out Captain Wessels. And Solitary's been on the point for quite some time, buying enough time for two different Potatoes to return. As Tapedeck does take a creepy, but Surfy takes out Core, and it seems to be just a Lucio and a Baby Diva left on the point as she is taken out, and Lucio is the final player left from the Fighting Potatoes, and this one is over. That's all she wrote. Vitamin C, 7-0, 4-0 sweep. Looking dangerous.
They'll be really strong coming into their next match. The Fighting Potatoes still needs to just get that foothold, start picking up some more games. Coming in now 2-5. They're gonna need at least one more here to start the rollback.
Yeah, I mean, right now things aren't looking great for them. They are going to be going into going into week 8 2-5. But you know, if they learn the meta, I think this team has an upside for sure. And we're gonna see how that's gonna be handled. And don't forget, they are gonna be talking about this on the podcast. And enjoy all the memes that are gonna come from it, whatever you will. Surfy did great on that Orisa. The tank line on the side of Vitamin C was dominant.
I think all game we got to see a lot of impressive stuff coming out from the Vitamin C DPS. However, on that last map, when it started to come down to the Orisa 1v1, we got to see why Surfy made his name on Orisa.
Oh, 100%. But I think that is going to wrap up this Overwatch Tranquility Week 7 matchup. Once again, Vitamin C 4-0 over the Fighting Potatoes. My name is Kingdom OW. My friend here, Door. You know, did you enjoy your first cast? You know, give it up for Door.
I thought it was great. Once the jitters went away, we're doing great. It was a great match to cast. I think it had a lot of exciting moments, a lot of big plays. It was great.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And once again, before we go, just a quick reminder, don't forget to check out the Iris Podcast Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And, yeah, I can't tell if he's saying that in the cast or to me, but just to remind you guys, don't forget, Thursday, 3v3 matchup. That's going to be absolutely nuts, hosted by Ski Free Yeti, the good old Ski Free Yeti boy. And thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, see you next time.